All right, we're going to start the meeting. We're going to stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance to start.
Flag is in the back. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
All right, take the roll call. Townsend?
Here.
Mock?
Here.
Williams, present. Malco?
Here.
And Larry Batt is absent.
All right, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Agenda is approved. We'll move on to public comments. I guess Carrie is she the only one on the list.
Yes, he is.
Hi, most of you all know me. So my name's Carrie Davis. I know that some things have happened lately at school. One being this week, some boys in my daughter's class were caught with vapes. So I previously worked in the tobacco control industry. And I just wanted to kind of address the board to figure out, are we handing any resources to these students? Are we educating these students on the dangers of vaping instead of just suspending these kids? You know, I know they go home for a week, they go home for 2 weeks, but what kind of education are we giving them? I know when I worked for the tobacco control, I went into Yorktown schools and presented to their health classes. Cowan schools presented into those health classes. Are we educating these students at all at the dangers of what these products are doing? Are we educating at all of what the tobacco companies are presenting to our children and what they're doing? I know it's something that happens every day in the school. I hear it from my kids. Kids are vaping in classrooms. They're vaping in the schools. I know we have the vape detectors. The vape companies are the ones that invented the vape detectors. So it is something as a parent that I'm really concerned about because I feel like we need to educate them. I know there's resources out there within Delaware community. They might not all be the best ones. I am a resource to come help and ask. The Department of Health has a lot of resources. I just wonder what we're doing as Wes-Del to help educate our students. It starts from elementary all the way up to seniors. I have a passion, even though I left my job, I still have a passion for it. I know that, wrestling season just ended, and I remember being at Bluffton, and the athletic director welcomed us all there that Saturday morning. We did the Pledge of Allegiance, and he welcomed us in the gym and said, this is a tobacco-free facility. Inside the gym, not an outside facility, not a football game, not a baseball game, not a softball game. It was an inside gym. He goes, I do this at every one of my sporting events because he's had too many athletes being caught. He has to make a statement. That was right after I had left my position. And I went up to him, I said, you're making a difference and you're making that statement to not only your community, but to every community that is coming to visit your gym, because you are, one, you're welcoming to everyone, but you're letting them know that you're tobacco-free. Your policy is tobacco-free here. So even little steps like that and making sure we're making those announcements, I think would help maybe bring it all together. But so
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Appreciate your comments. All right, we'll move into presentations. We've got the boys basketball team, Coach Bucket and Josiah Love.
All right, Jim, come up here. So, got Josiah here. For those of you that don't know, Josiah broke our all-time scoring record for boys basketball last Friday. So it was 1,235 points, and he's at 1,271 right now, and we still have a sectional and hopefully a regional and a semi-state and a state to play in. Hopefully we can keep this thing going as long as we can. We're going to show the video here in a second, but just a few things about Josiah. If you know him, you know he's a worker. He's in the gym all the time. I think probably in middle school, I've said this story a few times now, but I think he was not even starting necessarily. And then as he progressed, because of the work that he put in, you see his body transformed, you see his skill level increase, and he's so coachable. Sometimes you get really good players that they don't want to listen to, they've arrived, so they don't want to listen to coaching or take any of that. This is not Josiah. And he always brings a positive attitude no matter what, no matter the adversity we deal with, the roller coasters of a season. But he always handles it well, and he always gets us back on track with his positive leadership. So I think Josiah is a perfect person to hold that record. As an alum of the basketball program myself, I love that Josiah holds that record. But I felt like he needed to be recognized tonight. So we'll go ahead and show this clip if you didn't see it. It's really cool and exciting.
And the Big Easy up there.
That might go.
There it is!
Three-pointer to do it. And Josiah Love is the all-time leading scorer for Wes-Del High School.
And the student section is the same now.
And he's worked his tail off to get it. And listen to the crowd.
Step out there in the middle, Joe. We'll get his attention up here.
On a night you did have. So great moment for Wes-Del, great moment for Josiah and our team, and we're hoping to continue that on in the state tournament.
Congratulations. I know your parents are very proud of you, and I think one of the key highlights was that you're very coachable, you're a great role model for our school, and the young kids out there watching and want to be you guys when they get bigger, so we appreciate that.
Very good job.
All right. Okay, we'll move on to, we've got lots of presentations tonight.
The
sorry.
basketball team can leave if they want to.
Oh,
They can
yes.
stay if they want to, but you can
Unless you're in
go.
trouble and
I
have to
mean,
stay, right?
I always give that option.
Thank you.
See you guys.
It's like one row at a time.
Yeah.
We'll just-
We move back.
STEM is up next.
Should we make them move forward?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's STEM.
Message.
No.
Just normal.
I'm going to take the moment and get the microphone here. Hi, my name's Austin Williams. I am a man of many hats here at Wes-Del. So just to help describe it, usually I run into a parent and they ask what I do here. And the interesting part about that is that my role has changed quite a bit. This is currently my 5th year here. I was originally hired as a chemistry and engineering teacher. However, being the narrative that I do of teaching the students what they need first, my role has also changed. So at some point, we then expanded that into offering physics as well. Don't know when the last time physics was offered, but in the year 21-22, we offered physics since the history of Wes-Del that I could know. From there, we then started to ask the question of what we're going to do next. That 3rd year here, a big thing that the administration was part of was figuring out we wanted to be a STEM certified school. And so the bits and pieces of that and kind of the pillars that made it happen, it's not solely on my shoulders, but I was kind of the mascot of that. The 4th year, we started to really expand our engineering program and offering a lot more dual credit and AP classes. That year also, right before that, I then asked Adam Purdue if we wanted to be a math licensure. He said absolutely. So then I then took over math and filling in that hole right after Treherne left. And so that leads us to this year. This year I teach 6 different classes this year, 2 engineering, 2 math, and 2 science. This is honestly one of the most fun years because I do enjoy teaching that AP Physics. It is the class that it probably gets me the most excited, aside from engineering. You'll see sprinkled down in there, there's a couple other big events that we were part of. The first year I was here, Todd Reagan asked me to do some sort of field day-ish thing with our students, and so STEM Day was born. We have done STEM Day every year since then, and it's grown quite a bit. I've got some articles to show you in a second, and it's one of my pride and joys here at Wes-Del. On top of that, we then started introducing pumpkin chucking and some other cool things. We've got 2 students here who are gonna kind of showcase their experience in being part of the STEM programming. Again, that's not just solely my shoulders, but I just tend to be the mascot of what we have going on here. There is some other taglines in there of information, but for the sake of brevity, I'm gonna kind of move forward. One big thing that my 3rd year here, we looked at the process of STEM certification. I was the sole point on preparing all the documentation for it. At some point, Mealy can get you guys the process of the application, which was a Google site, along with the information for our site visit. I know Townsend did pop in for that because we did need some parent input, and so she came in as kind of a rescue for that moment as well. I do want to point out there's kind of 4 big pillars when it comes to STEM certification, and in there I also put in who played a role in that. Computer science is a big one, looking at Tammy Gill. If you didn't have her program in any capacity, we might as well not even try to do STEM certification. On the right side, you'll see mission and vision. That was from the administrative side, figuring out what classes we're going to offer, the sequencing and the scope, and things like that. Down on the interdisciplinary STEM projects, that's really a team collaborative lift. That's working at all teachers doing their things. When I say we get STEM certified, the E is really small. Engineering is a very small portion for me, but that T was like capitalized and bolded. It was a huge part of our process. That application took me somewhere in the ballpark of about 100 hours of preparation work. And then that site visit probably took me another 20 hours on top of that. Kayla Stanley did do a good job. So I got all the information together, but she made it pretty. She's got the pictures and things like that. I do not have the flair for media and design. Like, this is probably the best I got for you. But so I got the information together. She made it pretty. EES, which we're kind of all familiar with, they did come in and offer me 2 of their staff members for an 8-hour day. So we really churned out a lot of information. And then the site visit, includes some of the people from the Educator Board, Department of Education. They come up and they actually see what we have going on, making sure it's not a farce. We're not just putting lipstick on a pig. They actually come in, went to all of our graduation pathways, talked to those teachers, talked to a board of students, and also a board of staff. So that way they're not hearing just the information from me. So that's where I really go into the point of our STEM certification. I know I'm the face of it. However, it really was a team lift. What we are going to do now is we're going to hear from 2 of our students. I'm going to let them talk on it. There's bits and pieces in here that may not be familiar to you guys, and I did that intentionally so they can speak onto it. So the first person is going to be Amelia. I'm going to let her come up and take the mic from me.
All right, I'm Amelia Hudson-Roberts. I know many of you know me. So I am a very active member in the Wes-Del community, participating in so many clubs, and one of which is STEM Club. For my post-secondary plans, I plan on majoring in kinesiology with a minor in psychology and going into the career of sports medicine and something along those lines. So I, along with Malachi, am graduating with the Indiana College Core 30 diploma. It is a diploma that we get through Ivy Tech. So we have taken online classes with Ivy Tech, and we have taken classes in person at school as well. So usually you have to take just a few classes online, typically math classes that aren't always the funnest. And there's many of us in this graduating class that are graduating with the Indiana College Core 30. And you can get to the point where your first year of college is covered and you go into college as a sophomore. So for STEM Club and STEM Day, I have participated in all STEM days since they've been around. For 4 years, I was a station leader participating in teaching kids about the science of potato rockets and how potatoes fly into the air and how it can be really fun. And then this year I am co-assistant event coordinator, and I'm helping Mr. Williams with sort of sending out emails and making sure all of just the not so fun stuff is done, making sure all of the stations are done and everything's ready and we have everything we need. And then I participate in pumpkin chunkin' on Halloween. It's very fun. So I'll hand it to Malachi.
Hello, so I'm Malachi Dubois. I am the other half of the assistant coordinators for Sim Day. I got accepted to Purdue for their first year engineering program, which I actually grew a lot of interest with engineering through a lot of these STEM programs. I think I've done it since like freshman year, which has really helped grow me in that aspect. And then I've also been a part of that Core 30 program, just helping get those credits for that next year for college to help with some financial stuff. And then for Sim Day, I've also done it since 8th grade. And I've just done different projects like building bottle rackets, unfair pulley systems, butane rockets, hovercrafts, and this year I will be helping Amelia with this assistant coordinator event that I'm excited to try this year. So
yeah, just to piggyback on some of the things that they talk for, the Indiana College Core 30 does give them 30 college credits before they leave. Here soon, every school in the state of Indiana has to justify why they have College Core 30 or why they do not. And it's now going to be kind of a mandated all the way across the board. If you can't offer it for whatever reason, you do have to come up with some justifications. So the good part is that we are now, we're ahead of the curve. I'll put it that way. We're just ahead of the curve. We're offering Indiana College Core 30 to those students. You can think of it as a checkpoint. So it's essentially a first full year of college. Sometimes if you go to college without having those full 30 credits, they can time out. However, since that College Core 30 is considered a checkpoint, those credits will stay with them forever. So some of them can apply and they'll get them ahead. A lot of them will apply to electives and allow them just to focus on the studies that they really care about. Some of the ones I really encourage students to make sure they do is English and math. And if you don't need to do any more math in college, and some of their ears really do perk up. The thing that my baby is my STEM lab. I want to talk about this where there's a lot of line items on here, but I want to focus on those two pictures on the bottom right first. Adam and I had a conversation when I was interviewing about the thing that I think I need the most as an instructor is to be the most effective is the administration to trust me on decisions I make. And so at some point, about 2 to 3 years in here at Wes-Del, this room was not being used. I asked Adam, I said, if I find grant funding, can I have that room? Can I make something of it? And so you'll see in that bottom left picture is the very first grant we got for that room was $5,000 through Ball Brothers Foundation. And that's for those red lab stations that we started to build in the back. There has been grant funding. I've been a grant hound. I never thought grant writing would be my skill set that I would develop. However, almost everything in that room has been provided outside of Wes-Del funds. I'm not saying I'm the only person who's helped do that. There's a couple of, if we go down there and you'll see Ball Brothers Foundation, they came in shortly afterwards and we did a full grant for $25,000. This year, I asked for another $5,000 because my engineering program is growing. Originally, I wrote that grant to host a maximum of 12 students. And this year I started off with 20, which I never thought would happen. So I called them up and I asked them, I'm out of seats, can you help me out? And they came with another $5,000 for 5 more stations. Some recent news, we've got a PLTW Lilly grant. So Eli Lilly gave $5 million to the state of Indiana through PLTW programs. We applied for 4 different buckets and we got all 4 of them. You'll see those line items there. Those are for those classes that we plan to use. Huge success. I was a proponent in having those individual staff members apply for those grants. Wasn't very big, but it was still a team lift, but it was super fun, and that was recent. Even more recent, I've been trying to help Tammy Gill develop her computer science program to become industry ready. We've been rejected 2 times through Tech Point grants, through extra Perkins dollars and the state uses. this third time around, the Ball Brothers Foundation actually contacted me because I talked to them about our cybersecurity and our computer systems pathway. They at one point said, well, let's talk in about a year. And so that was a couple months ago. And they said, this is our program. This is how many students we have. If you would give us an opportunity, we would love to apply. And they said yes. So that number does need to change. They bumped it to $59,000. But we and Tammy Gill are going to sit down together sometime in the middle of March and finish up that application. We'll submit it by April 1st, and then we'll know back by mid-May. Another cool thing that just came out last week, I presented at the NMAC, which is a microgrant summit. They really like the things David Lamb and I are doing, and the one big thing that I asked them is, I said, we really need to connect what David Lamb is doing at the elementary to what we're doing at the high school. Didn't really ask, and then on the way home, we got an email saying, hey, we're willing to give you $30,000 for you to boost your middle school programming. That's very recent. Some of this has been very, very recent news. It seems like every time I walk into Purdue's office, I got some awesome grant money statements for them to hear. And then kind of recent, in the last year-ish, PLTW has offered me some training funds and then to launch that digital electronics class, which is mostly our juniors and seniors. We do have some sophomores in that class are taking that class, and that training was also covered by PLTW grant money. Again, none of this is Wes-Del funds. And then last year, we also did an IDOE robotics grant, which went to our after-school robotics programs for middle school, high school, and elementary. So that's about an even split between David's program and my program. For me, I got some really cool toolboxes and to allow us to prepare to host events. Tomorrow, I have a meeting with some administrators and some staff members along with the VEX Robotics about hosting those events. I know that's an item that we've previously talked about before, but that's moving forward starting tomorrow. There are some non-grant budget items that kind of happened. The Betty Clark Endowment, which we all know about. Mealy has allocated some Title IV funding, some things, not only for my program, but also at the middle school. But I do want to hit on some of the freedoms here. Those donations, I know it's a small item there, I think is going to be the most freeing thing. Before all this stuff kind of came in, we get some donations. We get a specific donation every year, and that is the most freeing amount of money. So if I want to do something that I think is cool and is fun, I don't have to worry about pulling out my own wallet to make sure that happens. Because there's no stress or less stress from that donation, this has allowed me to allocate my energy elsewhere, my energy into helping some other teachers find funding for their classroom. So I know there are some big ticket items on here, but I do want to highlight the fact that those donations, when they came through, gave me breathing space and allowed me to start sprinting. There are some other things, House Bill 1008, which Schlops some help with, and then Hansen does have some PLTW and high ability funds, which he's purchased from time to time. So my hand is in a lot of different places, but it's also not just me. So I'm not solely the one making this happen, but that STEM lab is my baby, and I'm really excited about it. I do want to talk about STEM Day just a bit. On that bottom right, you'll see some statistics from the day and the thing that I'm most excited about. The second STEM Day happened. The first one, I really didn't think about taking pictures. To be honest, like pictures is not my thing. I don't pull out my phone for anything. It's like take pictures. My wife's probably on to me about that. All right, but the first STEM Day was pretty shoestring. Mr. Purdue gave me a budget of $600, and we made it work. The micro grant came in and started to pay for some more additional things. And we started to invite my own personal professional contacts, the people I know through church, the people I know through just life. I invited them just to come help me out for STEM Day, and I had this epiphany moment. I've got professionals here, engineering professionals here, I've got medical professionals here, and I've got students who want to go pursue those careers. I had my first aha moment at the end of the second STEM Day. So then I made a big push to not just do 4th and 5th grade, but also do the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And we went from 14 workplace partners to 24. From the 3rd to the 4th, we went from 24 to 39. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen out for this year. So the 5th year STEM Day, I think is going to be the best, the most exciting, and hopefully the highest impact. I am a little sad that Malachi didn't toot his own horn, but he has an interview next week. And so those employer contacts are happening. So potentially 3 of my 4 graduating seniors are having an interview for at a local employer before they go off to college next week. The big thing that I think that's for is if you ask any employer in the area, their average age workforce is 55, somewhere in that ballpark. If I don't make a contact with employers to my graduating students before they leave Gaston, Indiana, that is a one-way ticket outside of Indiana. Because what they're going to do is they're going to go to the engineering roundtable and they're going to get an interview out of state, and then they're out of here. To really push for my program and to see things grow, they have to know what's going on here. Not saying other manufacturers down in Evansville aren't doing their thing, but they have to know of the opportunities here. And STEM Day is really making that happen. Kids have tons of fun, but I want to see those connections be more than just outside that one day. I don't know what next in store. We do have some things cooking up. I have a meeting with Ashley Williams, who is the Muncie Chamber of Commerce, on Tuesday of next week to talk about what those next steps look like. I'm going to list all of our graduating seniors out of our graduation pathways and say, what can you do for them? What employers do you know that are willing to talk with them? We'll see what shakes out of it. I think it would be so great as if my engineering students have a repertoire about them that every year now we have competition. I think it would be beautiful if some employers came to me and say, who do you got? You know, we want them. But I don't know what's going on after that. I do want to let you guys know, you guys are invited to STEM Day. So it's going to be May 14th. Please let me know if you're showing up, because we have some alumni there who are taking care of making sure the adults that are here on premises are the ones that are here on premises, and they may not know your face. So we're going to have name tags made for everybody showing up, just to make sure for security purposes. So please, you can email me, or you can email Mr. Mealy or Mr. Purdue, and they can let me know as well. But we'd love to have you guys out. On top of this, not just the school board, but anybody watching, streaming into, any employers who just want to see the STEM program we have going on, this is the day to kind of come see it. I do want to thank you for your time. We've got a lot of really good things cooking up here. And I know that I'm the face of STEM at the high school level. However, I just want to reiterate it one more time. It's not just me. It has totally been a collaborative lift. I'm just the one sprinting and my name's on a lot of stuff. So again, thank you for making a lot of things happen. And if you guys want to, you're welcome to come in my classroom and see what we've got cooking on in the STEM lab. As a gift for today, you got some coasters.
There's your answer.
The coasters came from the engineering department. So part of that PLTW grant we have is for next year's engineering class. We upgraded our laser engraver and cutter. And so we got that thing up and running today. So those are fresh, hot off the press. Those are engraved about 2 hours ago. We are going to look at using that to utilize some things down the stream. I don't want to speak into it because if they fall short, then I'll have some egg on my face. But we got some cool stuff cooking up. We're just going to stay tuned, see what happens. So, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Question for you real quick.
Yeah.
The 39 businesses, East Central Indiana, surrounding counties, what's your geographics with that?
So of those 39 workplace partners, that includes some immediate workforce. That also includes some collegiate. So we had Ball State here, we had Purdue Polytechnic, and the Purdue 4-H Extension. Those as far as like your collegiate bound. Mm-hmm. Some of the workplace partners are here. Jenner John out of Matthews, Indiana. Yeah. And then I haven't seen that list for over a year now, but I can absolutely get those to you. Just curious. So a ton of medical professionals have been here. So Andrea Strauss also does a big lift for STEM Day. She covers about a quarter of the stations, all medical related. She gets the EMT out here, the Eaton EMT, as well as some of those emergency services. We had the fire truck and some police out here as well. And then on top of that, we did have Eastern Indiana Works has come out here just to see what we've got going on. And then the East Central Indiana Service Center. I rarely get that right, but I nailed it that time. They're working on coming out. They visited last year. They're coming out this year of doing some sort of VR employment connection. So a kid gets to put a pair of goggles on and try to practice being a welder for a little bit. Similar to what we've got down in the commons area over there, but they get to be part of what's going on for STEM Day. So if you want to see a list of those partners, absolutely. I'll give you the keys to the kingdom, and you'll see who else been there and who else we can invite. Because I think what happens frequently is we'll have a conversation and we either might suggest somebody, and then we'll have a conversation and then you actually suggest 3 of the same people. And so that might be annoying, really. So, or there might be people I don't know about. And so
I was gonna say, I know you came to us before
Yeah.
meeting some other people, so if you, the specific spot right now, you can give a shout out to what department you're meeting somebody for.
I think actually the thing that if I could do something, if I could have an employer to come talk out to our digital media students who are graduating, we have 2 of them graduating, and they need some sort of internship. We have 4 engineering students graduating, 3 of which have an interview for next week. And we also have 3 computer information and technology students graduating out of that program. All 3 of those are interested in immediate workforce employment. That is the thing I'd want to see. STEM Day is cool, but actually seeing the students that we're preparing to go into the workforce that we were preparing for, I think would be a better fruit. So.
One other thing, I know that in the past you've had people come from other school districts to see STEM Day and what they could maybe take home to their own districts, correct?
Yeah, that is usually happens through either Mealy or Purdue. Other principals will hear about what we've got going on here. They'll contact them first, and then they'll come to me because they're like, just go talk to Austin. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe we've had 3 different school districts come and visit. One of those, off the top of my head, was Daleville. They went to see what we had going on. Dr. Tim Long visited. I know that one off the top of my head. Frankton LaPel, and then Tri Central. And I'm assuming there's going to be more. But I think the more eyes on it are better, just for my program in general. But also take that as a huge compliment, because if somebody's willing to replicate what I do, that means we must be doing something right. And so, yeah, I'll say thanks again for everything.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been to STEM Day, I highly encourage.
I think they want to get a picture with the board here.
So I asked him to come tonight to present, but also an opportunity to recognize him and the great work that he's doing. Thank you for that humbling reminder of that $600 budget from the beginning. I knew when we hired this guy that he was going to keep us busy, but it's been a really great busy, as you can see. So it's just an opportunity, and I asked him to present tonight. It's an opportunity just to thank him and all the hard work that he's doing, dedication. So.
You too, in the picture.
We got more Austin and the students. And Mr. Purdue.
I don't know, I'm gonna have to dress in my hair.
Oh, I got, no, I don't want to. No, thank you, though. You ready? Here we go. We're good.
Another comment I was going to make is, I'm impressed with how many a lot of you come back to now. So, you make an impression.
I was going to say he has a great last name.
Shane said he was gonna say he has a great last name.
Yeah, that too. That too. All right, thank you. Next presentation, elementary music. We've got with Mrs. Williams.
It's my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Williams, our elementary music teacher. She's going to just transition to her slides. She has been with us now for 4 years, and each year has added instruments and opportunities for students both inside and outside of class. So the first part of her presentation, she's going to talk a little bit about what kinds of things she's added. And then the second part of her presentation, she's going to share her experiences. The last time she presented to the board, she had just received the Lilly Teacher Creativity Fellowship, which isn't super easy to get and doesn't go to a lot of people. So now she has experienced those things. I'm not going to say it was once in a lifetime, but it might have been close. And it was really cool. So she's going to talk about that, and she has a lot of pictures and things to share as well. So Mrs. Williams, they're all yours.
Maybe.
Oh. Well, maybe.
Okay, yep, great. Perfect, thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
I think I've met everyone, but if you don't know who I am Angel Williams, and this is my 4th year at Wes-Del, my 27th year teaching elementary music. There's nothing that I love greater than teaching young kids about music and giving them lots of experiences to express themselves in lots of musical ways. So we're going to first talk about some instrumentation that we've been lucky to receive over the last 4 years and how we're implementing that, and as well as some things about my choir and how we've changed music programs at the elementary. So we did get ukuleles. We have a class set of ukuleles, so we have 20. We got that through a Bell Grant my first year. All 3rd through 5th grade students play ukuleles in music class, and the 4th and 5th graders play them in their music program as well. So we've learned lots of different chords. We jam on the ukuleles at least once every week with the students. So we added those right away at first, and it was great to have a string instrument to be able to offer the students at our class. We have added some new percussion instruments. We needed new rhythm sticks in the worst way. They really needed to be replaced. I added a cowbell and shekares, which is a rattle from Ghana, when I took a world drumming course at Indiana Wesleyan University. They had those instruments in some of the ensembles that I teach in class. And I did have 18 tubano drums already when I came to Wes-Del, but we added 2 more, so we would have enough for a class of 20 to play tubano drums. So we're getting ready to do drum circles tomorrow with the tubano drums. So the students get to work on those kindergarten through 5th. Work with all of those instruments, and we do use them in the programs as well. I've been doing a lot of study and research about the effects of being able to keep a steady beat and rhythm on reading development and literacy in our youngest students. So having lots of percussion instruments is super important for that. So we added those. We added 12 new Orff instruments. That's the xylophones, metallophones, and glockenspiels. And we had some instruments, but they were worn out and really had missing pieces and needed repairs. So we got 12 new Orff instruments. This is also for kindergarten through 5th grades. And the great thing about these instruments, we can take bars off as needed. So even our youngest learners, they can focus in, play chords, play rhythms, play different things, and be successful right off the bat. And then we add on to that, when I talk about my Lilly Fellowship, I did take an Orff class over the summer at Anderson University. So we use these instruments for lots of different things, in-class programs. We just did an assignment today with each class with a children's book for Read Across America Week with the Orff instruments. And we performed on the Orff instruments for Winnie's birthday. So that was really fun. So they're beautiful, beautiful instruments and a really important method of teaching for our elementary students. We added some boom whackers, which are the colorful plastic tubes in the corner. They are pitched, and the longer ones are deeper sounds, lower sounds. Those are my bass instruments, and the smaller ones are treble. They are pitched, like I said. So we added more diatonic, chromatic, bass, treble extension boom whackers, and we also added diatonic and chromatic handbells that are color-coded to go with the boom whackers. And all of the students play those as well, kindergarten through 5th grade, in class and in their performances. Our after-school 4th and 5th grade choir meets on Tuesdays, and we have really been working on expanding and collaborating. My first year at Wes-Del was Mrs. Love's first year in choir at Wes-Del, and we work beautifully together. And it's important to all of us that we have a cohesive program from elementary through high school. So we do a lot of performing together, the Veterans Day, Convocation, and the spring and winter performances we do together. We have performed for the 4th and 5th grade music program. The choir kicks off the Balloons Over Broadway project that we've been doing at Thanksgiving time at the elementary. We've been in the Gaston Christmas Parade, caroling at school. We've sung the national anthem here for elementary night and at a Ball State game last year. And they have sung for 5th grade honors day and at Morrison Woods and Westminster. These kids are great ambassadors for our school. I love taking them out to sing for people. We did sing at the Exchange Club in December as well. So they're really working hard, and our program has grown. I know you have seen it. My first year, Mrs. Love and I, it was small. They were mighty, but it was a smaller group. And now we have about 150 to 160 students in the choral program between our buildings. So I'm really excited that it has grown that much, and we're going to continue to take them out in the community and be great representatives for our school. This year, oh, this is so exciting. This year we added 7 guitars, and we are offering a guitar club 2 mornings a week to any 5th grader who's interested in coming in and learning guitar. So they are 3/4 size junior Yamaha guitars. And so they come in between 8 and 8:25, and they play guitar, and we learn chords. And they've been really excited to play along to Hound Dog. That's one of their favorites, and Rock Around the Clock and Stand By Me. So we've been having a great time with that, and I hope that will expand in the next couple of years as well. We got those in the fall. And we changed our formatting and timing for our music programs when I first came. We would do 4th and 5th grade together in November, 2nd and 3rd grade together in December, and kindergarten and first together in March. And right away, discovered that we needed to tweak it a little bit more, even because there wasn't enough space for all the people. We are doing it in-house, so I can move all the instruments to the gym, which is really helpful. So we have started doing, like, 2nd grade and 3rd grade did their program on the same night, but at different times. So we've been working on that. 4th and 5th have been together still, but next year we will divide those as well. So it'll be different timing in our gym. So they sing, there's movement, instruments. It's been a real blessing to be able to get these kids up in front of their families and their peers and have an opportunity to sing the music and play the music that we've been practicing in class. So before I talk about that, it's really important to me to be a strong feeder program as well to Mrs. Love and Mr. Martin here. So building those foundations in elementary music is crucial. And I'm thrilled to be able to work with Connor and Emily as a strong team as we present music to the Wes-Del community. So I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me here at Wes-Del. So Mr. Reagan was talking a little bit about my fellowship, and I did talk about this to the board last year. In January of last year, 2024, I received notification that I had received one of the 104 Lilly Teacher Creativity Fellowships for the year. It was a program started in 1987 through the Lilly Endowment Incorporated, and it provides Indiana educators with restorative and meaningful experiences so they can renew and strengthen their commitment to education. And you have to present a proposal with your ideas for your vision of activities. You have to explain what your need for renewal is. And then you have a budget and a timeline, and you present that with letters of recommendation and your teacher certificate. And then they go through. I turned it in September of 2023. It's months to go through all of the applications, and I got that one for last year. So I do have a little recap video, but what my proposal was to take that ORF class at Anderson University for intellectual stimulation. Emotional renewal, I traveled to Switzerland and Austria to see the sights from The Sound of Music, which is one of my favorites in the world. And so that was really beautiful. And to travel in the footsteps of great classical composers from Western music history. So I got to see, the house where Mozart was born. and, where the church where he was baptized, and Beethoven's house, and the churches where they went and had their music played, and the Vienna Opera House and things like that. So it was really amazing to see all of those things. I also went to the Trapp Family Lodge in Vermont, which is owned and operated by the Von Trapp family still. We did a family history walk and heard from one of the grandchildren of Maria Von Trapp, which was amazing. So I was able to do all of those things, and since I'm in the process of writing my final grant report, I thought I'd put together a little video. So this just shows you a little bit about my travels and my experiences.
Songs they have sung for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing every song it hears. My heart wants to beat like the wings of the birds that rise from the lake to the trees. My heart wants to sigh like a chime that flies from a church on a breeze, to laugh like a brook when it trips and falls over stones on its way, to sing through the night like a lark who is learning to pray. Heart is lonely. I know I will hear what I've heard before. My heart will be blessed with the sound of music. And I'll sing once more.
So thank you again for having me present this tonight, and for all of the support and encouragement that you constantly give to me and my program and our students. I really appreciate it, and I'm proud to be a Warrior. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, one more presentation. Custodial services.
Beat that, Ed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You got plenty of time for me. I have something for the board members. If it's okay, I pass them out, please.
Was this going to be before or after you did a little dance?
Singing.
I was gonna say, are you singing?
Yeah, give me a tough to follow.
Expectations are high.
Hey, I strategically did that.
All right, thank you. I'm the head custodian here at Wes-Del. I'm not really familiar with you, but I do take care of all the buildings around our area, Wes-Del Elementary, middle school, and the high school. But we're in crisis right now. That's why I'm here. We need help. We lost a good custodian who retired, and we posted for hopefully to hire a new custodian. We didn't get any application at all. What worries me the most is the sickness out there, the flu that we have and everything, and I'm down to 2 people, one on afternoon and one on daytime. We do have one young lady, she's a senior. She helps us out once in a while, but you know, she's in a place where she's a senior. She likes to go watch her classmates in winter sports. Now we got the spring sports coming up, and 2, she has asked me if she can cut back because of all the events going on, and I think she helps with the choir and also the events going on with her kids. You know, so I need help. And on the chart I show you, the map, is the layout of the middle school and high school. And as you can tell down there, the ones that are not familiar, is if you look at your map on at the bottom from B5 all the way around to A1, that's your middle school, all the way around up to where we have the middle school entry breezeway. This is all middle school. That's counting the gym, all the restrooms, and so forth. And then you got all the high school from C, D, on up, on around to the field house that needs to be cleaned also. Now, this is quite a bit for 2 people, especially one on afternoon and one on day term. One of the problems I got coming up is I have a person that works day term needs to be taken off for that day. So now we're down to where I've been covering at nights. I've been covering during the day for elementary or here, and the people the 2 custodians that's working, one has been working since Deb has left. He has filled in this week. I was off all last week with this flu, and I just got back, and he's been covering, but now he's tired of working over, you know. And so I do have a guy that I brought out of retirement, and he filled in yesterday and today, and he just told me today that it was a lot for him, and he's a retired person. So, you know, I'm just running out of things. I do have Adolfo here. I've been with him for 12 years from the previous school. I know we talked about it back in November and December. I'm asking to his people, with you guys' permission and you guys accept this recommendation, where I bring them in and they can cover all the middle school, they can cover the field house, the restrooms. The good thing about this is I've had them in here before with our sporting events. The people that knows, those 2 people that work for us, the job they done. I mean, they clean.
They're quick.
Yes, and there's times when, if you had seen the regional last Saturday, what it looked like, they came in for 3 hours and cleaned, and they got out. Now, you got to understand, there's times they came in over the winter and cleaned 2 gyms, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and they're out. They do the job well. With them coming in, with you guys proving this, they will get the desks, they will get the chairs, they'll get doorknobs. They'll do it the right way, because his people is at another school, and I just was told tonight the business, and he could talk about it, down there on 28, he just took over their business, cleaning their building. So I'm asking for permission, however Mr. Meehan submitted.
If I would, I'd open it up for them to ask you, and maybe Adolfo can talk on that, is will there be a contract that you're looking, will there be a setup contract, or are you going to use them by case? I think that was a question of the board.
Okay.
So you might talk to them about that. And
Right.
if you guys have questions, ask him.
Yeah, and what I done this past winter was I didn't need his people every night. I didn't need his people for the games. I look at it, okay, if it's a 6th grade boys game, our people clean. You know, I didn't need to bring him in to do that. I look at it, if there's something going on, like this spring we'll be getting into baseball, softball, and track. If you guys approve this, they'll be here, and the nights I know I need them to help clean outside because his people are used to it. They'd be cleaning the rooms, but also they will go out and pick up the trash and stuff while they're here. And he can talk more about his company, but they will not put 5, 6, 8 hours in. And it's basically on when I need them. And our agreement with Adolfo and I is I usually tell them what I need to have done, and they do it. So that's how we actually is whenever I need help, all I had to do is call him, and he brings them in for me. And that's how we have it all set up. So
Per custodian, what will that cost be per hour?
$24 per custodian.
I just did some quick math. You said about 3 hours a night. We're spending about $144
Well, we're
a night
looking
on average.
I did some figures on for 4 hours for each person because of the amount of clean that needs to be done. And you know, I can be here all night and break this all up, but you know, we're talking 4 hours, $24. That's $96, and you time it by 2, it's $196. You know, and you know we're paying our people now working overtime. You know, we're paying $96.24 for them to work. You know, and they're over $20 because it's time and a half. But here you're looking at, and I'm telling you, I'm there too. You put in 8 hours, like Catalina and Brian does, and myself, and then, you know, staying over every day. You know, you don't get really. Be honest with you, it's tough on somebody.
Yeah.
They're gonna be coming in there, and they will do a good job. They'll clean.
So this would only be middle high school, correct?
Yeah, middle school and high school.
Middle
yes.
school and high school.
Yes.
Now, you said as needed, but is this going to be more, or is it every day?
No, because I do have Debbie Knuckle gave me a letter and said that after her 30 days, whatever, she likes to come back as a sub. So I do would have Deb, if you guys approve her, she'll come back as a sub, and I would use them. You know, somebody like Deb who's used to cleaning our building stuff, have her come in first and help.
So let's take Deb out of the equation.
Okay.
You've got your current staff as is. If you started this Monday of next week, what would be your schedule that you would be looking to tell Adolfo? Would you want him every night?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for at least the next 2, 3, well, till spring break, because I did lose a guy after today.
So would your night guy be going to days then? You'd have 2 in the days and then they would just be
I
going
have
at night?
Brian already on day turn now, took Deb's place, and I don't have anybody on night except
nights.
Catalina.
Okay.
And Catalina will be here the full 8 hours.
And they would work when Catalina's here?
Yes,
Okay.
Catalina will be here. When they're working, I always will have a custodian here with them.
Do you have an average time that's set for job descriptions? So over a duration of time, you know that going down hallway 1 takes you X amount of time so that you can actually know what your budgetary number is going to be for his need?
When I talk to a sub or I talk to Adolfo, I already know what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
I've been here, I think 6 years now. And the reason why I put down 4 hours, because I know his people, and if I get the 2 of them, one could be the field house and the other one will be here, and I know they'll get it done, plus also they will get the trash stuff when there's a baseball, softball, a track meet, you know, whatever, and we still have Catalina, who's working afternoon, still stay in the classrooms and clean. That takes a load off of her big
Yeah.
time.
So could you then set a permanent set schedule for the full-time employees that keep them at 40 hours and not overtime, and then have him scheduled as well, and then set the basis for what to clean, and then we'd have a budgetary number more than hearing their perspective.
Yeah,
Does that make
well, I
sense?
mean,
Like,
yeah, I mean,
But we could kind of find out in this time period between now and spring break and kind of
Yeah.
see where we're at, and then maybe look at it after spring break, kind of see where
especially
we're
if,
gonna
if
be.
you're having a hard time finding somebody to fill a void.
I'm worried about flu and stuff now. That's
Yeah.
what I'm worried about.
But also your buildings are just, when your community's in them, you're gonna see the decline in the cleanliness. And
Right.
Right.
I mean,
That's,
it's gonna be.
that goes to the health factor as well for the students.
Well, and look, we have put a lot of money in this building since I've been here. The first day I came, when the superintendent hired me, everybody thought that the hallway floor was supposed to look like brown. You know, we need to maintain that, what it looks like right now, for the people in the community. They're not going to put any more money in this building if they see that we're not going to take care of it. I mean, that's the bottom line. As the head custodian, I'm here almost all the time, and we stay on top of it. I really like the people we have, and I like his company because I worked with his people before I came here. And I trust Adolfo, and you know, well, I'll let him come up here and talk right now so I can get out of here. So Adolfo, it's your turn now.
Hello everyone, my name is Adolfo Solis. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate the invitation, and I appreciate the opportunity to tell a little bit about myself. I've been in Jay County, we're neighbors, Jay County High School. I actually used to work in the high school too, but as a teacher. But I've been in this community for 30 years. I attended Ball State, and basically my business has been running for 15 years. Next month is 16, I'm sorry. And working in the cleaning services with J School Corporation for 15 years. And basically we also work with Ball State University for 10 years. And we got a pretty good letters of recommendations. Actually, Ed can share with you guys. And again, we are a certified minority company with the state of Indiana. And when I worked years ago with Ed, we were very young, right? we were very young people, but but actually, our company was only three part-time. I include myself as a part-time cleaning, and now we are 34 people full-time working. So thank you. And again, we like Ed said, we take the job very serious, and you know, for what I hear is so much talent. I mean, music, engineering, sports. Like, who don't want to be here? yeah. Like, sign me up.
Yes.
So it's like, do you take adult classes for me? I play drums too, and again, it's just a little bit about myself, and if you guys don't get my accent, it's because I'm from Jay County. So we got a little bit of accent. It's the Northern Indiana accent. So, and like I said, we are neighbors, and we appreciate the invitation, and happy to help in any capacity. So we're looking forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Ed just doesn't need an action. He just needs to know if he has the board. Go ahead. Are we good with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's your answer, Ed.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Do we?
Put this to a vote?
You can make an official action. You don't have
I
to.
would make official.
Yeah,
vote
let's put that in
for it
there, so
that way it's-
Let Mr. Williams set.
Let me set this up.
He's keeping us all formal.
Okay.
Ed, do you need these back?
Yeah, probably.
Ed, do you want your maps back?
No, you guys can keep it.
We get two things tonight.
Hey.
You can frame it, you want me to sign it?
Yeah,
You're just
they'll
trying
be
to
looking
keep
for
up with the
signatures
coaster.
after the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I just hit the wrong button.
Did you get an official motion of any?
He's
Not
still
yet.
setting that up. He's getting
still
it
setting
set
it
up
up.
over there to
Okay.
type it up.
Okay.
We're having a pause for singing if anybody wants to do that.
Stand up, stretch your legs.
Well, Mrs. Williams, I want to thank you for your enthusiasm and keeping such a great, or building such a great program. I mean,
I wonder
the kids
if we
have to
can do
be
like
so
adult
excited about
version
that.
guitar lessons.
Right.
I want to learn how to play.
Ukulele. Yeah.
Thank you.
And if anybody's looking to sneak out, now's your time, if you need to. Go ahead, as we're trying to sort this out, but you're welcome to stay, but if you're waiting for a moment to go.
Carrie said he would.
Is there a second?
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
Dyslexic here, put a
All right.
Superintendent's report.
How about claims?
Oh, yeah, we haven't done that yet, sorry.
And those like we've been through everything,
I
but
felt like I was jumping way ahead.
What
Yeah,
was
go
this
ahead.
company's name?
Vista.
You got
is
the whole
Vista
consent agenda
lawn
there.
care. It's the one that's been doing the.
Vista?
Yeah.
I think it's just Vista Lawn.
Vista LLC.
all right, well, we're moving on to the consent agenda. Claims, has everybody had a chance to review claims? Any questions or comments?
I do not.
I don't have anything.
All right. Minutes, been able to review those. No comments, we're moving on to personnel. Do you want to speak to?
Yeah, you have a recommendation in there on the deputy treasurer's position. We've been very fortunate to have Jordan Burns, who is Sharon Fowler's daughter, has worked with us for many years in our office, is very familiar with our office, and is interested in the deputy treasurer position, and her experience would be really an asset right now in our transition period. So you have a recommendation to just move her into that position from sub to full-time deputy treasurer. And I'll take any questions.
What's your recommendation?
To place her in there.
Okay.
Yep, she'd be
I
fantastic.
motion to proceed.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, action
Ayes have
passes.
it.
There you go. All right, superintendent's report.
I don't have a long one for you tonight. Baseball, softball update. The weather is changing, so our Tuesday project meeting, there was a lot on the agenda, and it is everything from getting inside. We are weather tight with our roof on both of our press box, getting our metal roofing done on the dugouts. They have placed the dugout benches and helmet racks and all that in there. They haven't completely set them up yet, but they're in there. Stairs should be here any day, which are metal fabricated stairs that will go up. That will then give us better access to get in, start doing all the electrical work and everything like that. So as the weather, took a nice turn here, our meeting said that they would be hitting a lot of things here in the next few weeks. The toughest one's going to be a consistent 45 or higher for painting the exterior. If they get it, they're going to go for it. They're going to go at least one press box and see how it goes, and then go from there. But hopefully we can get. It looks pretty good, but Indiana can change it anytime. So
Is that metal that you're painting on, or what is?
they're painting onto the block.
On the block?
Yep, they will be doing that. So they have to have 45 or higher for their company to come in and do that. Yep. So if not, they will wait, and we could still play with it as is, and then they would wait till they get a really nice stretch in the summer to completely do it. So we're going to make a call on that. But nets are up, nets are in. Both services can be practiced on. We're ready to go there. And both services can start to be worked on by our coaching staff. So we're good to go on there. So everything else is kind of outside the netting, and then they'll come back in and do a lot of soil work, grading work around the concrete and get everything taken care of. Moving the bleachers soon to get them where they need to be. We talked a little bit. We'll be reopening our bid process and for the relining project, and hope to have those to you the first meeting in April. And then I had on my good news, it's already taken care of. It was Josiah, so we already had that. So we can say, you know, congratulations again, and then your board calendar is in the document. So
All right.
of the night for me to have a short one, at least I had a short one.
Very true. Very true. All right. Moving on to old business. We have legal counsel on the agenda. Is anybody ready to make a motion for?
We had 3, I'll just give you a rundown just so you're ready. We had 3 local councils present to you at the last meeting. You had documents to review. Left it pretty well open for the board to make a motion on their own on how they want to go. You had Beasley and Gilkinson, you had Dennis, Winger, and Abril, and you had Defer Varan. All a little different, so I hope you had time to look at kind of what they had there. We do have Tara Smallstick here from Dennis, Winger, and Abril. I think that's our only one. So if you have a question, you can ask her. But that's, I'll review anything, or you guys can discuss. And you can always table if you need more and you need me to go back and ask.
I do have a question for Tara.
Yes.
I know.
Do you want me to come up there?
It doesn't make a difference to me. I know there were some differences in the contracts or whatever that you guys gave us.
Yes.
For instance, you guys are wanting a retainer, I believe. If I'm trying to go back to my monthly. And is that something that you guys are dead set on, or could we be like on a like I think the other one was like an hourly rate basis or whatever?
Maybe I should have asked more questions on the front end, but our understanding was you wanted legal counsel to be here at meetings. And so we set up our proposal to you so that we would be here at meetings.
Okay.
If you don't want legal counsel to be here at every meeting, we could, if you wanted to say, have us here at 1 meeting a month, we could restructure what that would look like. We're willing to do it on an hourly basis. We felt like proposing a set amount on a monthly basis to cover the meetings and prep for those would be, you know, to your benefit. But if you want to restructure that, that's fine. And we would also be willing just to do it on an hourly basis. Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions?
What was we looking at as far as a board?
I know there was, and I don't want to speak on behalf of you, I know there was conversation about maybe just 1 meeting a month after we had the proposals. There was a talk, maybe we only need them at 1 meeting a month.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Do you feel like in your time frames that you've been on the board, does an attorney need to be here once a month or on call when we get our agenda that this is what's going on? You know, like, not to put you on the spot.
No.
Was there anything that we would have been asking you today?
Not necessarily, not based on the meeting you've had today, no.
So if you were here this meeting, we would be paying you to be here for this meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
I will tell you that being here today has been incredibly educational for me about your school district and what's going on and all the incredible things going on here. So it is important, I think, also for your legal counsel to understand not only the legal questions you're going to ask, but the composition of what's going on within your school district and the things that are going really well and the things you might find challenges, so that when there does come up a legal question, we're not having to do the work to get up to speed to understand it, because we've already been here and we've already heard everything that's going on and we're up to speed on it. So yes, it's a yes and no to your question. So I do think there could be some value at least to having legal counsel, whether it's us or someone else, here at least 1 board meeting a month, whether you say, listen, that'd be the first meeting of the month, and maybe you structure your agenda to each of those.
You could structure 1 meeting to be a little bit larger with presentations.
That's what I see myself.
And then your other meeting could be lighter.
Because this was a lighter meeting in comparison to if we talk about a project that's going on down the road and we know that project is in April or June.
But I also see such value in the programs that you have going on. I mean, you know, the STEM program here, I mean, I was just blown away by what they presented today and how amazing that is. And then the music program, I mean, all of those things are things that you don't have as challenges because they're excelling. Whereas, you know, there's other things that you're going to find if you're here at meetings that are challenges that maybe you're going to have to then get someone up to speed if they're not here for the meeting.
Sure. There are also situations where that could arise. You need to bring them in on an executive session.
Yes.
If you have a personnel matter, a discipline matter, something where you might need that. So they need to also be on call to say, hey, we've had an incident occur next week. we may need you even though you're not scheduled to come
Absolutely.
to executive session.
So is that kind of going back to an on-call type situation?
We had that with our previous local attorney, and the one that we had that was not local, if we needed him to come down. Locally, it was easier to just make a call and say, can you be here next Thursday at 5 o'clock for the executive session? We have a matter we need to discuss. The other thing that comes up is if you have appeals on discipline matters, it's always, you're going to want to have your attorney there. If you have appeals on personnel matters, you're going to want to have that. So yeah, that would be an on-call basis. But those are just, I'm giving you that as, those would be added moments.
Well, and back to your question, Carrie, about like what we've seen. I don't know that, there's definitely been times when we've sent you away to check with the attorney and get back to us on questions that have arisen. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to, Tara's point is to, have them up to speed on what was going on too.
I just hate to see a number of meetings
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're sitting there going, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a benefit for her to know what's going on. I
Yeah.
can see that aspect, but then we're also paying to retain her for this time.
Yeah. Which is why we did it more as like a set amount on a monthly basis for that. So you weren't like, okay, wait a second, we're here,
It does help us on a cash flow too as well for our budget. If you do have a consistent set number, and then you can build your budget and your cash flow based on that, knowing, okay, if we can stick to this, knowing that there's going to be incidental moments where we need to have them in differently, but as you structure your year from a financial standpoint, they've told you ahead of time, this is what you're getting per month, and then you just kind of build that into your cash flow. That is nice.
And for your schedule, it's better to know ahead of time. And
it is. It's easier,
On the
especially
calendar.
when it's when a lot of your meetings are after 5. It's easier to build that in. But obviously, if it's a retainer client or it's a client that we do regular business with, we're going to make that a priority. So absolutely. Thank you. So did that answer your questions?
You can also structure, like if you plan to have executive sessions for items, you can structure those on your bigger meeting.
True.
Because you've got to think, some school districts do 1 meeting a month and you have 2. So you can always just say, if it's a building project, if it's something, we're always going to have executive session on this meeting that we know our attorney's going to be at. That way you have them in that evening, that way they're not coming 2 different.
Yep.
As best you can. There may be other issues that come up, but.
Absolutely, which is
And
why
that would
we
be on
were
call.
kind of doing it as a both sides, yes. But absolutely, we are willing to do it on an hourly basis if that is what you would prefer.
Should we get that information on the quote to go that
I think so.
direction? To
To
be
do
fair?
1 meeting a month? Is that what you're talking about?
I think,
do you want one meeting and then hourly?
I think you might, to be in all fairness, we may want to give all legal counsel
I was gonna
the
suggest
ability
tabling.
to get this information and then and they can get that. Are you okay with them just emailing that to me?
Yes.
Then they all get that information. She's been very helpful for us to get some clarity on that.
Absolutely.
They all get the idea of what you're looking for. Then they give back to you.
So
Does
are
that
you
work?
wanting proposals, like them being there one meeting a month for sure, and then hourly rate, like to go with that, and additional anything else outside that meeting, and then just a straight hourly rate?
Yeah, it's
In
kind of a
case you
hybrid
don't
of a
want them-
retainer slash, guarantee for 1 a
Well,
month.
the hourly rate's going to
And
be
then-
the same either
Yes.
way, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What I'm
Correct.
saying
You
is,
have-
as I leave here, I'm going to email all 3 and say, we are now, the board is looking at 1 meeting a month, and then there may be additional as need be.
Yep.
What would that look like?
That's fair.
And I think that's a fair email to them, and then they can come back and tell us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Absolutely.
All right. So I hate to
No.
drag it on one more, but I think it's the right thing to do.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So hopefully I helped.
Yes, you did. You did. You helped us
Appreciate
get
it,
there.
thank you. Any other comments on legal? Okay. Other old business, Educator Wall of Honor. Mr. Burpee's here.
I will, this will be quick. So we met, I think it was 2 weeks ago, virtually, and not everybody was able to join, but we did have a conversation. They decided that they wanted to survey the staff and send even to old staff members who are retired from here, and ask them their opinion of what they would want. What kind of recognition would you want? So I thought that was a decent idea, and we're kind of pumping the brakes on moving super fast with it. The other thing they wanted to do was check with Thrive, which I called today. I finally got a second to call today. Didn't connect with Brittany, but she called me back, left me a voicemail, but I was at basketball practice, so I'll probably connect with her tomorrow to hopefully get us on board with that. I saw they launched Muncie Central and Yorktown's cards, so hopefully we can jump on that, and that'd be a nice little $2,000 to, start us off with something like that. And then one of the things that we wanted to do was the alumni registration form. So fortunately, actually, Brittany Grimm had already created basically one, and we kind of tweaked it, and they gave me the questions they wanted on it. So I sent that out to our whole staff today. If you're a Wes-Del alumni, let's start getting this, what Warrior Connect, so we have like an alumni database so we can reach out to people, because I think eventually, based on our conversations, they want, if we do get to where we have like a wall of honor, they want to know from alumni that went here, who would you want to nominate? And so a start for that, which there's going to be a lot more things I think we can do once we get an alumni database with our career day and like STEM, and they need to know about all this stuff. I don't think everybody knows about all this great stuff, and a lot of them live around here and they don't necessarily send their kids here, but I would love to get more of them. Like, this stuff is awesome, and you don't know, it's not the same as when we went here. There's different things that are added on, and it's awesome. So I think they need to see some of this stuff. So I think that database will be even bigger than what we're thinking right now. So it started, I think we had like 20 some responses within an hour of me sending it out, partially because we have some staff members here that went here. I'm one, and then they're sending it out, and I think Ashley Ernstberger posted on Facebook, and it's been shared a bunch I saw today. So hopefully people will start getting that.
Did I see we have a Facebook page for the actual alumni thing?
I think we do. Okay. I haven't done anything with that. That was before I got on there. And Brittany Grimm is gung-ho. Like, she's ready to get going with it. And I think she
shared out on the pages too, and people could even do like a Google form or something.
Yes, there is a Google form. Yes, okay. So Greg, I think, added it to the website today too, because there is like, I had a teacher, she's gone here. She asked me a question when I said, she's like, is this like a new thing? I said, well, it started before COVID hit and it got like completely stopped, and then we're trying to get it going again. So I think this will be a good start to get it out there, and now they're going to see it. And this is a cool thing. If we can get this going, however it looks, it could be a cool thing to get it started, and then we move on from there with different ways to raise money for a purpose, things that we can do to help the school. And connect our alumni to here, right now, our present. Yeah. Yep. So I think that'd be great. But that's the update. Oh, and we're also planning to meet a month from now to look at the survey results that had to do with how you want to be recognized, what you want that to look like. So we'll go from there, and I'll share more as I get more info.
Was we just looking at educators?
No, it is for anybody that was a staff member.
Okay.
I think it was worded. It literally staff member at Wes-Del Community Schools at any point in time, and in the survey it says like what department you worked in, whether maintenance, food service, anything. So
I looked at it.
All that was broken down.
Brittany's good at stuff like that.
Yes, and I'm like sitting there, and they checked it, and they tell me corrections, which I can take criticism. I don't mind it. So I've fixed it all, and I'm like, you guys are a lot smarter than me, so send it in and tell me these suggestions. So we fixed it the best we could and added it as much information as we needed, but we didn't want it to be too much to where they're like, I'm answering 1,000 questions, So I think it'll be good, but we're going to look at that survey.
So anybody
results.
who's watching, it's on the website, correct? And they can go fill that out? Okay.
Yes, and we need to add, actually, that's a good idea. We need to add the survey for how you'd want to be recognized if you've worked here before, because that might get some of our former employees who are retired now. Yeah. And don't work here anymore. I sent it to the staff that works here right now, and then we're thinking about, they were like, when the kids that are seniors, when they graduate, get them one of the things they do, and that maybe that day that they have like a half day and they eat.
Have them fill it out.
Yeah, they practice, fill it out so you're connected immediately. And sure, you'll have to update your address over time, but that's the case with anywhere. Any questions? Any other questions?
I do have one. It was going to be through the board comment, but since you it was addressing the credit card, is that something, Kyle, that we're going to move forward to and do?
I think it's just going to, I think they're going to utilize it.
Because they had a sign off on that to sign off to utilize the logo onto the card. That's what.
We can get them that. We can get that to them. Yeah.
But you're saying as a board, are we okay
Are we-
signing
Oh,
off
yeah.
on
We're
that?
gonna do that.
That's up to you guys, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
I
I
thought
wanted
we
to
already
make sure.
discussed it.
Because it takes a process to do all this, because that one for Yorktown and Muncie, it was probably a window of 3 months, I'm gonna guess, because it has to be done, and the cards have to be made and everything else like that. So Brittany was kind of wanting to know if that was something to move forward on.
Well, you've reached out to her and you're playing phone tag with her right now, correct?
Yeah, we did today. I'll call her tomorrow.
So once you get
I'm
that,
sure we'll connect.
then we'll just have that signed and we'll get that back
We
to
can
her.
move forward with that
Okay.
once we find out what that is,
Okay.
for sure.
Thank you.
Yep,
All right,
you're
thank
welcome.
you. All right, new business. We've got a donation.
Yeah, there's a donation in your packet. Mr. Reagan would like the board to accept a donation of $356 from Kevin and Lisa Eckerty. The donation goes towards a 5th grade field trip to see the Indy Fuel minor league hockey team. I think they play, in Fishers. So just want to recognize this donation from Kevin and Lisa Eckerty.
Do we send out thank you letters for something like that?
We can.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That's good.
All right. We need an action to approve
Yep.
that.
We need a motion?
Motion to approve the donation from the Eckerty family.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we accept that donation. Thank you very much.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, board comments. Start with Carrie.
I've already mentioned mine. Mine was going to be asking about the credit card, which thank you for addressing.
I'm just amazed with those 2 presentations. That was just amazing. And it's here at Wes-Del. I mean, we're doing quite well. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna say. Keep up the good work. I know we always tell you that, but I mean, I know the kids are always excited about STEM, and then my little one came home and she knew that a picture of her was gonna be in the music presentation, so she was excited about that. And I mean, I actually like attending the music program now because it's short and sweet. They get to it, but the kids love it. I mean, they are literally like lit up when they're out there, like just can't wait to hit those sticks, like, you know. So we got a lot of good things going on, so I know they're exciting, and so thank you guys for doing that.
I'll let him know.
He left. Yeah, we just thank you. I mean, it is nice to see the highlights of all the hard work that you guys are doing, and the staff is doing. We know that, you know, small school, there's always shiny things other places, and we want to be able to keep the special things that we've got going on and appreciate everybody's efforts and energies that go into that and making this such a great place to be. So thank you. And we appreciate everybody coming to our meetings.
Yes.
So if there is nothing else, we just need an adjourn.
What's our viewership?
I don't know.
Wait, I thought there was a number there. I'm sorry.
He does, but do we have a motion to adjourn?
24. Good. I make a motion.
Is there a second?